Okay, today we've got an Interpet PF2 for aquariums up to 80 litres. According to this, it has a 4-stage filtration system with a high directional flow. It's quite effective. Well, we'll have to see about that. It doesn't say that it's good for marine, but it does say it's for hot and cold, or warm and cold marine. And here's some information. It's got some biomedia in there. It's got mechanical. It's got an oxygenator, so that's quite good. So let's have a look and see what it actually means by that. Looking on what it says at the back, it does actually say it does have some cartridges that goes inside, so we're going to have a look at those as well. And there's the other information you're going to need. So let's get to it. I'm just going to take everything out of the box. Okay, well, it's a very large filter for what I would consider a 60-70 litre tank max. It does come with biomedia, but that's a pint glass, and that's it next to it. Now you do get a flow diverter in the box, which obviously goes on the end here, but I'm going to strip this down in a minute. It actually looks quite nice. It's very neat. The only thing that holds it onto the tank though is suckers. So obviously over time they will wear, but it clamps on, so that might make it a bit easier to actually service. So I'm going to strip it down, we're going to have a look. Okay, well look, before we get into the strip down, the things to note on this, which I think are quite good, it's got a flow regulator here, which is plus or minus. You can actually move this, and it goes a little bit of direction there, not much. I mean, obviously, on the back of the tank it's going to either go that way or that way, so you've got no choice. But this is quite unique. This is to add oxygen, which means you can have this out of the water. Now on the side here, I did notice, where is it? There you go. I don't know if you can see that. There is no, there you go, minimum water level. So that would be ideal if you want to add oxygen into a tank. I would probably use this in a hospital tank. I think this would be quite fantastic. Now the clamp actually comes down. This comes off like that, or slides down. Now it is very difficult to do it with one hand, so bear with me. So if I take that off like that, as you can see, it just clips and slides down. So you can actually slide this out of a tank, which I think is really cool. Right, I'm going to strip it down, we'll have a look inside. Okay, one thing I have noticed with the directional jet, as it were, which is quite good, the whole unit actually can move. Now, this is where your biomedia is. It's not a great deal. It's about 10.5 grams. There's your direction. And in here is where your sponges are. Okay, but look at this. Push and pull. There you go. Now, it hasn't got a great deal of sponge, but it is actually quite a little unit. I would probably try and get that's I would actually go for a smaller pour, you know, because that is quite thick. That's quite that, and that's got a carbon in it, which I'm going to get rid of. I don't need carbon. So all in all, that is not a bad little filter. It's a bit finicky, but you can buy these things, which I'm going to have a look at. In operation, I'm going to show you the flow. Okay, so we're going to get it into a tank and have a look at it. Yeah, you can see the water goes down there first. So I'd have to change that myself. Oh no, look, the water comes in through the bottom, okay, and goes up through that, into the biomedia. So that's actually the right way around. Biomedia, apart from chemicals, should be the last thing this touches. You want all the crap out of the water by mechanical filtration before it gets to biological. So let's get it into a tank and actually see how this works. Let's see how efficient or how much flow it's got, and see how much it can disturb the water. But so far, I think that's a really good. Yeah, I quite like that. Guys, let's have a look at it. Just thought I'd let you know, this is actually how you get this off. You push, but it was quite hard when it came out. There you go. Yeah, so push in and pull like that. But it's looking good. Okay, so let's get it in the water and see what we got. Okay, so here's the flow. That, my friends, is quite a substantial flow for such a little filter. Okay, now we're going to have a look at the specs of this in a minute on the box, but I am very impressed with this. A filter this size having biometer as well as a sponge. It's not as big a sponge as I would, and I'd probably modify that a little bit, just have one big lump of sponge of a medium, say 35 to 40 maybe pores per inch. But saying that, I think that's a very good value for money. This thing's cheap. I mean, it was £20. It's nothing, and you could run a hospital tank, or even if you look at that, I don't know if you can really see that. There you go. Now, it's not whisper quiet, but most of that noise you can hear is from the vents. So if I can turn it off. Yeah, there you go. That's the vent fully on. Okay. It's not whisper quiet, but I would tend to put this down a little bit further. But I'm going to leave this running because a lot of filters do quieten down over time. So I'm going to give you some specs at the end of this video and just pause it and have a look at them for you. Okay, look, on a side note, I've now fully submerged this and I can't hear it. And that is still pumping a lot of flow. Guys, this is recommended by me. This is a very good one. For the price, look, that's how far I got it submerged, and I can't even hear it. You can hear the air pump over it, so I recommend this one. It's a good little filter. Okay, so these are some of the specs that are on this filter. Okay, and as you can see, they do other ranges. I went for this one for a hospital tank. Okay, now the flow rate is 500 litres an hour. I believe that's more. I believe that's above that. Okay, having said that, you could probably use this on a 15-gallon tank. You know what, this would be very good for a flue valve flex or a hospital tank, or maybe a 60-litre Velda tank, something like that, or even a breeder tank. I'm not sure the biomedia is going to do a great deal. There's not a lot in there, but it will house bacteria. And again, I will be doing a follow-up on this in a few months with a filter change. I'm going to cram that full of filtration and see what happens with that. But I will say this, it moves a lot of water. So, you know, if you wanted to put that in a hospital tank and fill it full of carbon, activated carbon, a bag of carbon, and take out any meds from the tank, you could do that. You could use something like zeolite to help your nitrates when you're first cycling a tank. You could use it for a lot of things. In my opinion, one of the best filters around for the price, made by a company called Interpet, which when I had the shop, there was loads of this stuff around. Quality, yeah, I reckon so. But I wouldn't go to an 80-litre tank. I'd probably stick to a 60-litre, or maybe have this and another filter, so you could use this basically to seed a new tank. So that would be quite cool. Guys, thanks for watching. Take care.